Hey guys, it's your girl La CBA, aka the Christian Break Afro, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the welcome. We back with part 2 of different pathways. Say medicine.
But I just need you to believe. I'm talking the good, the bad, the ugly. The good, the bad, the ugly. The good, the bad, the ugly. The good, the bad, the ugly.
What was the hardest part of getting onto the course?
I mean, there was so much to do, first of all. It can feel really overwhelming at first. And if you don't know much about medicine to begin with, if you don't have any friends or family in it, you're kind of coming into it quite new. So you kind of have to figure out the fact that you have to do entrance exams and how to study for them, what to put in your personal statement, all these different things. There are people you can talk to, but it's just kind of figuring it out. But the hardest part, I think, was probably the UK CAT.
I think the most challenging thing are the entrance exams.
The UK CAT. Yeah, difficult times through that, especially because I did it twice, and that was what let me down the first time. I think it was just very stressful.
The most challenging thing about the entrance exams is probably that if you don't believe that you're good enough to do well in the exam, or if you just don't believe in your abilities or your capacity to do that exam, it's almost like you're setting yourself up for failure. So I think that overcoming that is a huge part of the process. So if you can tell yourself, that I have the abilities, I have the capacity to do well in this entrance exam, that is, 50% of the journey. The other 50% is just practice and you'll do well.
I'd say the hardest part for getting into medicine would probably be my interviews because, I'd say naturally I'm quite nervous. So, when I had to sit down and someone was grilling me with these questions and staring at me, I found that really difficult, and I think that was my weakness. I ended up getting 2 interviews out of the 4 that I applied to, but I didn't make it from those, I think because I was just too nervous. But then for my final interview, I kind of had nothing to lose and I was a bit more relaxed and had some experience.
So getting onto the course, of course, it wasn't easy. It was difficult, but I think the most hardest part was trusting in myself and trusting in God throughout the way. It was just me spiritually on my journey, knowing and trusting that I'll get there. I definitely had the self-control throughout. I worked hard. It was more of, am I going to get there? In the back of my head, I would question it.
Maintaining high grades, like a first on all of my exams, all of my reports consistently. It was really like a ruthless dominoes effect, I guess. Like once you push one domino, you think you're done, but it just causes the other one to fall, and you have no time to relax. You have no time to kind of gather your thoughts, and you're just hit with the next domino again and again and again. And you have to keep on getting the best possible grades you can to ensure that you pass or you're eligible to transfer into medicine. Like that was a lot more stressful than the typical, A-levels. You've got the last 3 months before your exams and you just marathon it.
In which case, I would honestly say it was A-levels, like the exams, the academic side of things, because my AS grades weren't the best, and being able to, having to flip that around, it took too long and it was really hard, but I made it.
A-levels, year 13 probably, just the sheer amount of pressure, especially during exam season. You know that other people can just go through clearing, but you can't do that. So you have to make it. It's a bit of added pressure.
Okay. What advice do you have for future medical students who are on similar pathways to you?
I'd say if you're applying to a uni like Leicester definitely is one of the unis that look at you as a person. So just be yourself, do whatever you want to do, and then if medicine is the right thing and you're passionate enough about it, you'll get in the end.
First of all, probably is to enjoy year 12, but actually learn to manage your time and find a way to revise that's effective for you.
Make sure you ask a load of questions, because no question's a stupid question, and I've learned that the hard way.
Firstly, we get grateful that you have the backing and the means to be able to go into this process. Do not be complacent, because it's still very competitive. because for undergraduate course, there is a certain amount of places that medical schools will allot to graduates. So if you think that you're just competing with A-level school leavers, no, that's not the case. You're competing against other graduates who are applying for the undergraduate course. So that in itself makes it a competitive prospect. Do not underestimate the challenges, the difficulties of a application to medicine, and approach it with vim, energy, and determination.
Do as much as you can in your gap year because it gives you more experience for when you get to medicine. You didn't get in there the year before, then it's fine. It's good to take a gap year and do something different.
And don't overwork yourself for aptitude tests. Like, don't burn yourself out. Like, I strongly believe that there are waves and peaks that you can go through when you're revising for an aptitude test. And if you keep constantly working, then you're more likely to reach that trough when you actually get to your UKCAT exam.
Do your research. So there's loads of different pathways. There's graduate entry, gap year, foundation year, all sorts. Just know what you're like, know how well you do, or at least have an idea, and then figure out from what grades you'll get or how you'll do in entry exams, how you're going to get there. Like initially I didn't know about the foundation year. And then I researched, I found out about it, and I thought, okay, that can be my plan B. So my plan A was to do my A-levels as normal, get the grades, take my gap year, and then get in. But then I did my A-levels, and then I didn't do as well as I thought I would. And I knew that a foundation year was an option. I went and did more research, and I found out it was for me, and it would be better for me, especially because having a break from a gap year, it can be difficult to jump back into education. So it's nice to have that little step up before I get into, hardcore med school.
Take one thing at a time. It will feel like a mountain of things to do. Just try your best at each stage, and then you won't regret anything. And if it doesn't work out the first time, you can definitely do it. Anyone can get in.
I would have to say that it is 100% doable. When I was going into the course, when I was calling up like the representatives for biological sciences, it was almost as if they were trying to dissuade me. And again, I don't know if this links in with like how they might have tried to do it before and they failed, and so they kind of have accepted that it's an impossible route for them, and they might project that onto others. But from the get-go, everybody was told that this was extremely difficult. It was more competitive than the typical, nationwide process of getting into medicine. Yeah. And so I would just have to say that if you are trying to go through a transfer course internally with the university, it is 100% doable. It does take time. It does take effort and commitment. But if you are truly convicted in trying to get to medicine, it's 100% doable.
Why did you want to do medicine?
I want to do medicine because I want to help people. Generally, just that's my basic reason, because I just feel like it's quite a rewarding thing to do, and I like to do something as a challenge. I wouldn't want to be sitting at a desk all day, every day, doing the same thing. And medicine is like obviously the biggest thing that's changing, and it's like one of the most challenging careers.
So when I was 16, I watched Doctor Strange, and there was this neurosurgery scene. I thought it was really cool because it was quite intense. Yeah. And I like the way that you can apply your knowledge, like biology, chemistry, all these amazing subjects, and use it to make an impact on someone's life, especially if it's like a critical condition. You could literally save someone's life from the jaws of death, which I thought was... I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else, really.
So I've kind of always known like healthcare is the one that I want to go into. Before I was going to be a vet, so I was keen on like making sure that animals are okay, things like that. Then obviously when it comes down to like putting animals down and that emotional side of things, I couldn't do it, and I just held my hands up and I was like, let me just move on to something else that's healthcare related. So obviously that drew me to work experiences. I kind of put myself out there and did like sign up to pretty much every work experience in Leicester. And then from there it did like open me up to meeting doctors, nurses, HCAs, the whole lot. And from that they gave me a lot of good careers advice to be able to in order to have a lot of progression, having a lot of flexibility, variability, and just having a load of doors open for you to go for medicine. And so, yeah, I decided to go towards medicine, and here I am.
I've always had a really big interest in science and anatomy. Just sort of, I lived on a farm, so I saw like lots of anatomy stuff of animals there. And I just sort of wanted something that related to that sort of science, but also was dealing with people, talking to people, socialising and, you know, experiencing different parts of everyone's lives. Yeah.
I know myself, and I know I'm most happiest when I feel like I've made someone else happy, if that makes sense. And my way of making other people happy initially started just by talking to them and listening. And then as I grew older and I did my GCSEs and I loved science more and more, I wanted like a science background based job. And then medicine became something that I wanted to do because, of course, I'm with people all the time. I'm doing what I love. I'm still nerdy. I get to study whenever I want to. I know it sounds so cringe, but I love school and I love the idea of learning something new every day. And in medicine, it's always changing. There's always ideas that are needed, and I want to be part of that. I want to be part of changing the perspective of medicine.
There's a whole range of reasons for why I would want to study medicine, why I want to be a doctor. But the most important thing for me is just I want to provide value for another person in a means that also gives me a sense of fulfillment and stimulates my intellect and curiosity in life. So when I amalgamate that together, it seems that medicine is the best option. My interest in this, in the basic sciences, in medical sciences, coupled with a drive to help other people, it makes medicine the only wise choice for me, I guess.
It was actually relatively simple. Like, I like helping people, and I think I'm vaguely intelligent. So, like, you put them two together. And yeah, you like a lot of professions do help people, like law helps people, but there's a certain aspect to it's like a certain way that you view how you help people, as in it's more real. I don't mean to like diminish other professions, but in the sense that like you can see the patient smile, you can proper relate to the patient and talk to the patient like they're a real person. Like you actually do get to. It seems like you do get to know people, like as a collective, which is nice.
It was something that I had saw myself doing for so long, like envisioning like me in hospital wards and whatnot, that it came to a point where I really couldn't accept failure, and I couldn't see how I would want to betray my younger self, the dream that I had. And it was almost as if there was always a promise to my past self that I will become a doctor. And I'm grateful that I ended up having that mentality and thinking about it in that way, because I am more than happy with where I am now, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
Thank you for watching part 2, guys. If you haven't watched part 1, check it out now. But if you've watched both, congrats. I hope it's been helpful to you in any way, and I strongly recommend you do research on these pathways and more. Getting onto medicine is hard work, I know from first-hand experience, but I'm glad I wasn't left to face the journey alone. I had an amazing support system consisting of family, friends, and into university, and acting as the foundation of the system, I had God, the greatest foundation there is. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. If you got something to say, comment in the comment section below. If you like my catsiness, I'm flattered. So subscribe And share this video because a prospective medical student needs to know their route is grade 2. Watch my other YouTube videos, but until the next time, peace.